This is the story of a girl who used to live on a different planet with her parents. There was a colony where her parents lived. One day, she found herself alone on that planet. What was the reason for that? Let's start today's story. The story begins with a family consisting of a girl named Remmy and her parents. This family lived on a planet called Settlers colony. If we look around them, there were no birds, no humans. The whole area was barren. They had no neighbors and no contact with the people living on Earth. They had made a farm where they kept some animals and a greenhouse where Remy's dad grew vegetables. This is how their life was going on. Remy's eyes were always looking far away. She wanted to know where she was living. If she ventured further, what would happen in the next world? Would humans be alive there? Because of this curiosity, she would often gaze longingly at the distant mountains, dreaming that one day she would go there. However, her mom always stopped her from thinking about such things. But this family had hope that someday people would come and settle on this planet like Earth. One day, Remy's dad came home late. He was looking very worried. Remmy stood quietly as her mom listened to her dad. He suspected that there were strangers around who wanted to enter their house. Remmy also heard this. That night, Remy's dad came to her and said, "Don't worry, dear. Nothing like that will happen. Whatever you heard, there's no need to be afraid. I will handle everything." But Remmy was still scared. One morning when she woke up, someone had written on the window with blood, "Go away from here." Seeing this, Remy's mom and dad were terrified. Her dad quickly picked up the rifle and started looking around to find out who was behind this. Remy's mom also hid with her. After some time, Remy's mom and dad heard the voices of 3 people pretending to be 6, to make it seem like there were more of them. However, no one could see these people. That's why Remy's dad shouted like crazy, "Whatever you are, come in front." Little Remmy stood far away, scared of her dad because she had never seen him like this before. Remy's mom and dad watched all day to see who was trying to come to their house. Meanwhile, Remmy was worried about her animals on the farm. Without telling her mom and dad, she went out of the house to check on them. She was happy to see that her animals were still fine. But when her mom realized that Remmy was not at home, she quickly went out to get her. As Remmy was coming back to the house, the people hiding nearby saw her and tried to catch her. At the right moment, Remy's dad shot and killed one of the men, while her mom stopped another and killed him with a knife. Then she ran inside with Remmy. Outside, Remy's dad also killed the last enemy by shooting him in the foot, which injured him. Remy's dad then went to the mountains, while her mom collected weapons from the dead people. Remmy noticed that there was a girl among the dead. Remmy and her mom locked themselves in the house and started waiting for her dad. But the night passed, and Remy's dad had not returned yet. This made Remy's mom very worried. She held a big knife in her hand and decided to take Remmy with her to find her husband. But then a stranger came in, which meant Remy's dad was dead. This stranger, who had killed him, was the same man whom Remy's dad had shot in the foot the previous day. He introduced himself as Jerry and said, "This is my house. You people killed my mom and dad and took over this place. I won't leave my house now. I have reached here after a lot of trouble. If you live with me well and don't misbehave, then you can stay here with your daughter. Anyway, I have killed your husband. And I am ready to take responsibility for you and your daughter," Jerry said. But after hearing this, Remy's mom hid with Remmy. Remmy, who was crying a lot, said to her mom, "Mom, let's leave here. We can't stay." But her mom knew that life outside this planet was not easy. So, she decided to stay in the house, but she had another plan. When Jerry's attention shifted away for a moment, Remy's mom took the chance to enter the house and attack Jerry with a knife. However, he caught her and tried to kill her with a gun, but decided not to. He said, "Give me 30 days to prove myself. I will not harm you." Remy's mom replied, "I don't want anything from you. I just want to bury my husband properly." Jerry agreed to this and helped bury Remy's dad alongside his friends, whom Remy's dad had killed. Now, Remmy and her mom were living with a stranger. Remmy repeatedly asked her mom to leave, but her mom knew that surviving outside the planet was not easy. Remmy started keeping an eye on Jerry and noticed he had many weapons. One day, after Jerry's death, Remmy searched his bag and found a mask and a picture of a boy. It was the same boy Remy's mom had killed with a knife to save her. Remmy and her mom started counting down the 30 days as per Jerry's promise. They began living with him. Jerry took care of everything outside while Remy's mom did the housework. One day, Remy's mom took out a robot machine from her storeroom, which was like a pet. Remmy found a good friend in the robot, which could talk to her. One night, after dinner, Remy's mom sat down and talked to Jerry. She told him the whole truth. She said, "When we arrived here, your mom and dad were already dead. We were from Earth, but our spaceship crashed, and we got stuck here and could never return." After learning the truth, Jerry accepted them. As time went by, a relationship developed between Remy's mom and Jerry. Seeing this, Remmy was unhappy because she still considered Jerry her dad's murderer. That's why Remmy decided to leave her station without further thought. She didn't even know where she would go next, but she felt she had to leave. When Remmy ventured a little further, she discovered that where she lived was covered by a dome. This meant that there was no life outside. Whatever life existed was confined to the part where Remy's house was. Remmy saw a very big door. When she opened it and went inside, she moved forward with the torch ball she had brought with her. She could see light in the distance. However, due to the darkness and lack of oxygen in the tunnel, Remmy fainted. When she regained consciousness, she found herself in her bed. It turned out that Jerry had saved her. He told her that beyond the door, there was nothing but dust, dirt, and a lack of oxygen. "You should accept this as soon as possible," he said. "You can't go anywhere from here." One day, Jerry found a guitar and asked Remy's mom to sing a song. Remy's mom sang the same song she used to sing with her family, indicating that she had included Jerry in her life. Seeing this, Remmy started crying and locked herself in a room. Her mom tried to console her, but Remmy wouldn't listen. Frustrated and angry, Remy's mom picked up a gun to kill Jerry, believing that he was the cause of her daughter's distress and her husband's death. However, the gun was empty. She then ran to get a knife, with Jerry following her. Remmy stood outside, witnessing everything. In a tragic turn, Jerry killed Remy's mom too. Remmy was devastated. She now faced the reality of having to live with a stranger who had killed both her parents. She tried to run away, but Jerry caught her and told her to stop. Being just a little girl, Remmy had no choice but to stay with Jerry. Her mom was buried in the same mountain where her dad was buried. Time passed, and Remmy grew up to be a beautiful but sad and quiet girl living with Jerry. Despite the presence of many animals and vegetables around her, the weight of her circumstances remained heavy on her heart. One day, Jerry gave Remmy a gun full of bullets, even though she had never attempted to kill him all these years. However, this did not mean she liked Jerry. In fact, she still considered him her mom's and dad's killer, and always kept her distance from him. On the other hand, Jerry wanted Remmy to forget everything and live happily with him. One day, Jerry took her to a pond where Remmy bathed for the first time in its water, and then they sat quietly and drank alcohol when they returned home. Jerry gave Remmy a picture of his mom, which made her cry. Jerry's intentions were unclear as he hugged Remmy in a strange way. This frightened her, and she started feeling scared at night because she no longer wanted to stay with Jerry. Jerry's intentions had also changed. He no longer saw Remmy as a little girl, but as a beautiful woman. One day, Jerry told Remmy, "I think only you and I are left alive on this planet. Stay with me, and we'll have children to ensure the human race continues." Remmy clearly refused, saying, "Why should I be the last person on Earth? I can never live with you, the killer of my parents." Saying this, she decided to leave. However, Jerry was aware of Remy's intentions. He came out of his room with a mask to prevent Remmy from leaving him. She ran after him and tried to take the mask, but she fell and fainted by mistake. When she woke up, she found herself tied to the bed, with Jerry sitting in front of her, his wrong intentions clearly visible. He told her, "Look, you can still reconsider." Remmy still refused to listen. Jerry tried to force her, but hearing Remy's screams, his robot machine intervened, attacking Jerry with its weapons, throwing him away. Despite this, Jerry was not dead. He shot the robot, destroying it. Remmy managed to free herself, grabbed a rifle, and shot Jerry in the head, killing him. She buried his body on the mountain. After some time, Remmy realized how lonely she was. Her other robot machine was also broken. To cope with her loneliness, she slept near her parents' graves and spent her days watching her animals. She eventually repaired her other robot. Determined to find other humans, she prepared to leave, hoping to encounter someone on the barren land. Saying goodbye to her robot machine, she looked at her house and animals one last time, then donned a mask and entered the same tunnel she had tried to explore as a child. Remmy saw that the area was barren, but she was determined to find out if she was truly alone in the world. If she could overcome her challenges, her quest to find other people would continue indefinitely. Would Remmy complete this journey? Would she encounter another human in her life? And with that, Remmy's story concludes.